Hello. Hey everybody, it's me, ASMR. God. Hey, what is up you guys? It's me, Love K-Ray, and today we are going to be tie-dyeing. Step by step, I'm going to show you how I tie-dye. But before I dive into the video, I just wanted to ask you guys to please consider subscribing because I do post videos every single freaking week. I post videos on selling random things on the internet so that I can ultimately buy a house by the age of 25. And that is the goal, and that is why I'm selling these things. And part of me selling random things on the internet is actually tie-dyeing. I sell a lot of tie-dyed stuff on Etsy, and so I'm going to be giving away my little things, and that's probably why I don't make enough, because I'm telling people how I do it. Now the first thing I did was obviously I set up all of this stuff. If you don't have plastic or anything to put down, this is literally just a garbage bag that I cut and I made into my tablecloth because, you know, we're just adapting, we're learning, we're curving, we're grooving, we're scooving. I don't know what we're doing, but we're using trash bags as tablecloths. In addition to the tablecloth, I do like always having a little one of these spray bottle things. I'll link some on Amazon. They're really cheap. You can also get them like at the dollar store. I just like doing this to kind of like mist my tie-dye because, as you'll see, if you put tie-dye on non-wet clothes, at least the tie-dye I use, it doesn't really absorb into the clothes. You have to wet the clothes before you do it. I don't like doing too much water, so I try to keep it damp but not too wet. There will be occasional dry spots where if like a big clump of tie-dye ends up going somewhere where I don't like the effect that it's giving, a lot more of a watercolor vibe, I'll just take out my little squirter birder and I'll just go squirt them. And making the tie-dye pretty, it's a process. You obviously need your tie-dye. They have powder tie-dye at the store. They also have liquid dye, which is what I've been kind of using more. I started off using the powder tie-dye, but it was pretty expensive for like doing a mass amount of dye. I like using it. I think it's easy. It's like $3.99 for the dye. Some tie-dye kits come with these little plastic dye bottles. However, I've seen people, and I've actually done it myself where I couldn't find like the top to one of mine. I took a water bottle, just like a Poland Spring empty water bottle. I put some water in it, put the dye in it, and then you take a thumbtack, poke a little hole in there, and then it actually kind of like works great for some reason. So you don't need to buy these, but if you want to buy the whole kit, you know, go for it. I just do this because I don't want the dye to get all over my table and my setup, but I just have my crew necks, which I'm going to be tie-dyeing today, a little bit wet. I already wet them up, gross. And then I already made some color options. What I like to do is I always like to shake up the dye. One time I didn't shake the dye up and the color was really faded and I was really confused. I was like, is my dye broken? Am I broken? That one hurt. I am broken. But in fact, I was broken, but the dye wasn't broken. It was just I didn't shake it up. You can fill this all up with water. You can measure out a tablespoon. You're going to take your mom's tablespoon. You're going to steal it from the kitchen. She's not going to make it with sauce. She's not going to measure her salt with for her sauce. I am going to pour this green powder here. Cut it like that. It's kind of easier to pour in. Whoa! You'll pour it in it like this. Put my glove back on because my hands are disgusting. So there are obviously multiple kind of like little patterns you can make with tie-dye. You can do a little spiral effect. You can do a crumple effect. I've even seen people do hearts, alien shapes, like smiley faces. We're just gonna do the spiral and the crumple, and you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna do freaking Harry Potter freaking colors, because I feel like Harry Potter like will never die, like the hype will never die, but I've been feeling, oh my god, my butt cheeks are literally showing. I've been feeling like less hype about Harry Potter recently. I mean, obviously compared to when I was younger, when like the movies were popping off, like everyone was reading the books, but now I'm like, I'm missing something in my life, and it's definitely Harry Potter. I'm gonna take my fingers and I'm going to go in the smack darn middle goblin of the crew neck. And I'm going to take it like this, and I'm just going to spin it like this and kind of create this spiral and make sure that it stays in a little spiral. And then you can just grab on the other side. You could move your hand, work with it, work with it, work with it. It's like a little cinnamon roll butthole. Once you have your spiral, you're ready to rock and roll. I'm gonna do Gryffindor because, you know, basic, whatever you wanna say. You can mix tie-dye, but you gotta remember, it might not come out perfectly and you might wanna test it on another piece of clothing first, or like a rag or like a paper towel first, just to see if it's the kind of color you want. To get this kind of burgundy, dark, like reddish, I mixed red, I mixed orange. I think I added some fuchsia and navy to make this color. I'm gonna start with the yellow. And this is like a pretty like bright yellow. You can add some orange to get like the little gold effect. Add some orange. No, it got a little darker, which is nice. You see how there's a lot of yellow like on the actual spiral? That will actually make the spiral effect. I used to not know that, but like you should really saturate the spirally in the middle at like the most, kind of, to make sure that people can tell the effect. I'm just gonna take that burgundy color that I made. Hopefully it works well. I'm trying not to add too much of it like in the actual yellow parts, because then it's just gonna mix with the yellow and make a different color altogether, like the orange. I'm just adding in all the white spots that I can find. If you don't want yours to be fully tie-dyed, obviously don't put it in all the white spots you can find. I do like putting a lot just because I don't like when it fades, and it ultimately does kind of fade with every wash that you do. But there are ways that you can kind of have your tie-dye last, like hang dry it instead of dry in the dryer. Then when you think you've kind of finished that side, you can just flip it like this. Make sure you hold it in the same spiral. I tie-dye the back and the front, and then I recommend tying it up actually. You can use rubber bands to make the spiral effect to keep it in place all bunched together, but I've done this so many times that I've kind of figured out what works for me, and I am going to unravel and show you what it looks like. So this is one side of it. It might be a little bit brighter than it actually is, like in this lighting that I'm in. The last one that I'm going to do is the Slytherin Crumple tie-dye one. All I did was fold over my tablecloth to make it easier for me, and for the crumple, all you really have to do is crumple it. You just start at the bottom and you try to make like little crumples and keep pulling it together, but don't make them too big, obviously. Like, make sure as much surface of the like shirt or crew neck or whatever it is showing, but make it crumpled. You got it? Start with my green, Slytherin green. If you want it in all the white spots, if you want to leave some white spots, you can do that too. As you can see, crew necks are kind of harder to have the tie-dye make the watercolor effect, but if you just keep on spraying some water, it should help out a little bit. Okay, so my shirt just sat for like 24 hours, maybe a little bit even more. Let's get to washing it out. I'm doing it in my yard. And I put my shoes on because I don't want you guys adding pictures of me on Wiki Feet. Also, look, I made this. Not for this video, but I made it. Thanks. I'm filling this bucket right here with water, and I'm going to kind of rinse it out and soak it in the water. I'm also going to add vinegar because I've heard vinegar helps the dye stay more vibrant. I have not always done it the bucket route. I've also put my tie-dye in the shower. I've done it on the sink. I've rinsed my tie-dye out on like the sink or in the sink. So there's really any way you could do it as long as you rinse it out and it kind of is clear or close to clear. Look how green it already got just from putting that in there. Wow. I'm just gonna rinse these out and also let it soak for 30 minutes in a water vinegar mixture. So I just kind of pour a little bit of vinegar in, and then I'm going to dry it. So I put them inside out in the dryer. Sometimes do some air drying where I just leave it outside or I hang it outside. This is the Gryffindor one. I will actually add some text on the shirt, like Gryffindor, and start selling on Etsy. And then here is the Slytherin, which I like better, honestly. Like, it's giving me very much like potion-y vibes. Like, look at that. It's like cloudy. Oh, that's the back, sorry. The front's pretty cool. I also wanted to show you guys like other tie-dye I've done and actually stuff that I sell online, but this is something that I tie-dyed and it just says Libra. That's my zodiac sign. I wear this all the time. This is like kind of like a purpley, dark blue, navy red swirl. This one, it's not super vibrant. It's pretty faded. It's like, but I like how it's orange, blue, and pink. I really like that combo. It reminds me of like a sunrise or something. I don't know. It's giving me like cotton candy Dippin' Dots vibes, and I'm here for that, honestly. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, comment down below. Make sure to hit that subscribe button because I post videos every single freaking week. Yeah, ooh, yeah. And I'll see you next time on Love K-Ray. Bye.